find in the encounter between Yaakov and Esav that there is discussion of their physical material wealth. Vayihili shor v'chamor, they were exchanging what their financial situation and circumstances are. And the Torah tells us that Yaakov achieved great wealth, and he had vast amounts of livestock, of cattle, of servants. What is this concept of wealth? Surely our pursuit in this world should not be in this physical material arena. Surely we should be pursuing the more noble things of life, spirituality. What is this concept that Am Yisrael are also told that yes, to engage in business, yes, to engage in trading, yes, to live in a dignified manner, even to amass wealth. What is this concept? There was a very fascinating incident that took place a few hundred years ago. The first Admor Mikarlin, Reb Aaron Hagadol Mikarlin. He was one of the great Hasidic masters. And it happened that the weather circumstances in a particular year was that winter set in earlier than usual, and tremendous snowfalls took place, and that entire part of Poland was just completely enveloped in snow. Coming Sukkot, and the place is completely snowbound, to the point that even those who had Sukkot could not clear the snow, and they could not, for long enough, to open up the ceiling in order to place the schach, which we know is the key component of a sukkah, is that it cannot be a fixed, permanent type of roof. It has to be the schach, the ceiling of a sukkah booth, has to be made from elements that grow from wood, trees, etc. And this is how we cover our Sukkot. And here this year, everything was completely snowed in. And when the snow ceased to fall, it was so freezing, everything became completely iced over. And one Jew decided that the great Reb Aaron Mikarlin, how can he not have a sukkah? But it seemed impossible, there's no sukkah. This Jew, in the bitter, freezing cold, took along with him some ice picks and shovels, and he climbed up on the roof of where Reb Aaron Mikarlin used to traditionally have his sukkah, and he worked for days on end, hacking away at the snow, hacking away at the ice, until finally, after tremendous effort and energy, and the man was freezing every day, he managed to clear the area for the sukkah, and they were able to place the schach, and Reb Aaron had a sukkah. And Reb Aaron Karlin came and saw that he's going to, in fact, be able to celebrate this mitzvah, midoraisa, this Torah command to dwell in a sukkah. He was beside himself with joy. And he called this young man, and he said to him, I give you two options. I will give you a bracha. I give you two options. Either you can be b'mechitzati b'Gan Eden. You can be, I will promise you a place alongside me in Gan Eden, in the future, in the next world. What a magnificent promise. Or he said, you can choose, I will give you a bracha of wealth, that you and your descendants will constantly, throughout the ages, be financially stable and secure. You will always have wealth. You will always find yourself with sufficient money for your needs. You'll have extensive money. You'll have wealth. And he said to this young man, what do you choose? And this man, deliberating it for a few moments, said, I choose wealth. And so it was. Reb Aaron gave him a brocha. He thanked him profusely for building him the sukkah, and he gave him a brocha that he should have wealth. And this man, immediately, whatever he touched turned to gold. Whatever kind of business dealings he had succeeded. He found himself immensely wealthy. He became wealthy, and he amassed fortunes. This he passed on to his descendants, and the descendants of this man constantly had wealth. And one day, this story was being told to a subsequent Rebbe many years later of the Karlin-Stolin dynasty, and a descendant, a wealthy descendant of that man, was telling this tale over to the Rebbe. What's the source of his wealth? And the Rebbe heard this, and he wondered aloud. It's an interesting choice that the great Rabbi Aaron Mikarlin gave you, either to be with him in Gan Eden or to be endowed with wealth. I'm curious, do you have an insight as to why your forefather chose wealth? Because the natural choice seems to be such an opportunity to be with Rabbi Aaron Mikarlin, this great pious tzaddik in Gan Eden. Why is it that you chose wealth? And the man, he says, it's a tradition in our family that had our great-grandfather chosen to be with Gan Eden with Rabbi Aaron, that would have been a choice for him. And no doubt it would have been a wonderful choice for him. But he looked way beyond that. He looked and said that if I choose wealth and I educate my children and myself to use the wealth in a very productive and holy way, wealth can be something very, very significant. And that's why I chose wealth. Because the wealth that I chose, and that there would be wealth in my family for generations, and if I'm able to inculcate into the family that you should use your wealth in a productive way, helping others, helping the people who are needy, helping to be a machzik Torah, to hold our Torah, then this wealth, this bracha is something that will benefit many people through many generations. So he said, so in a certain sense, that decision of my ancestor wasn't a decision of he wanted wealth for the sake of wealth. It was a very altruistic decision. The egoistic decision might have been, yes, I want to be with Rabbi Aaron Karlin in Gan Eden. But he chose the path and the avenue of wealth, which could be harnessed and used for positive aspects. So this is an insight into how a Jew can take wealth and take financial and material blessing and use it in a positive way and benefit many others around it.